This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, all of you. On behalf of Department of Computer Science and Engineering Department, SRTS Bhopal, I'm Dr. Kalpana Rai, convener and head of the department. Welcome you all in this 1 week FDP on information, cybersecurity, and blockchain technology organized by Rajiv Gandhi Praudhyogiki Vishwavidyalaya under TWECIP 3 in association with Department of CSC SRTS Bhopal. Our today's speaker is Mr. Vikalp Sharma. He's already joined the session. I want to like to introduce him. Mr. Vikalp Sharma is the founder and chief executive officer of Spring-S Technologies. Vikalp leads Spring-S Technologies services and internal research development teams. Mr. Vikalp has responsibility for the overall strategy and business development for global services, including advanced services solutions, the services assess strategies, and acquisition strategy. Vikalp is passionate about driving change and believes simplification of processes. Belief in people and customer centricity is the key of the success. Mr. Vikalp is having 10 plus year experience in IT research and development. He is MP State Project Head, where he leads for Trilogic Soft Solution AP Private Limited, Hyderabad. Is a private held software services firm. He has worked extensively for clients in the advanced technology. He earned a master's degree in computer science and engineering from Rajiv Gandhi Praudhyogiki Vishwavidyalaya, Bhopal, and he also enjoys traveling, learning new technology. He lives in India. So, on behalf of uh, Computer Science and Engineering Department, SRTS, the SAGE Group, I want to welcome Mr. Vikalp Sharma to deliver the session. Thank you. So please, you can share your screen.
Sure. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
सर सर वो नाजिस वसीम को पूछ रहा था आपसे तो उसकी हाँ हाँ नहीं सर हो गया मैंने कॉल कर लिया तो उसके पर नाजिस वसीम को थोड़ी सी बात करें
Yeah, hopefully the screen is visible to you.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Hello all, good morning to all of you. My name is Vikalp Sharma and I represent Trilogic Soft Solutions AP Private Limited in Hyderabad, and we are also having a center in Madhya Pradesh. Bhopal. So, as first of all, I would like to thank to the Sagar College to invite me here. And so today we have the session about the cyber security, its threats, security in the web servers, cloud servers, and the cyber requirement, cyber attacks, cyber security, as well as the requirement of the time today. So we are going to have a session on the cyber security terms and the requirement of today's. And the good example also. So today probably I'll be sharing with you. And day to day in life, we always face a lot of problems, as like a lot of things which we are So I'm going to share them, and as well as I'm going to share you my server also, that how the intruders, how the visitor visited, and how the bots can attack on the server, what are the attacks are possible. So those things I'm going to cover today in my session. So simply, when we are talking about the cyber security, before going to the cyber security, we would like to go for the cyber attack. Exactly why we need the cyber security, because we have the attacks. Simply, as if I'm talking about me, why I need the security, why the particular person, why the PM needs the security, why the particular person need a security, because there can be an attack on him. There can be a particular possibility of threats on him. That's the reason why we need the security. Hopefully, that's quite clear that we need the security because there is a possibility of attack. So, basically, like in computers, computer network, as we know nowadays, we are living in the mobile world. We are living in the we are living with the smartphone. Everywhere there is automation. Everywhere there is a lot of things which are connected with the internet. Nowadays, we have the IPv6 concept. Nowadays, we have the IoT concept. Even our watches are smart nowadays. Even our phones are smart nowadays. In the computer also, we have the internet connectivity. So everywhere we have the internet all over us, all over around us. So what we require is we require the particular security here. So uh, sir, please mute your mic. All the people, please. Kindly mute all the mics.
All of you, please mute your mics.
Please mute your mic so that it
All
will
the
be
participants,
audible properly.
please mute your mics.
Okay, thank you. So we need the security because there is an attack. If there is no attack, then there is no need of security. So first of all, when it comes to the when it comes to the attack, we are dealing with a lot of things. So like as I have given the first line of my presentation, like in our computer network, there is attack. Like there can be exposure of our data, destroying of our data. Somebody can steal our data. Maybe somebody can get the unauthorized access to our data. So these kind of things are possible. These kind of things are happening nowadays. That is the cyber attack. What is going on nowadays around us? Now, in order to prevent from those attacks, we need the security. As the attacks are belongs to the cyber, these attacks are belonging to the internet. So these are the cyber attack. And in order to overcome from these attacks, we need the security. That is the cyber security. As my second para denotes, cyber security is the state or process of protecting, recovering network, device, program for any type of cyber attack. So in order to prevent from attack, we need the security. That is, we are having the cyber security. Same way we have one more term which we oftenly we listen this, that is the cyber forensic. So cyber forensic comes to the like sometime like maybe our hard disk, maybe somebody we need the detailed information about the device. So whatever the research require from the devices, maybe it is from the computer, from the mobile phone, from any kind of smartphone, maybe it is any other device which is using the internet. So we require the study, we require the digital evidences, we require the particular identification or processing from the particular device. So that is the comes for cyber forensic. So when we deal with the cyber world, we have the multiple terminologies. Just I wanted to tell. So one is a cyber attack. We can get the attack over the internet. That is a cyber attack we have. We need the security in order to secure them. That is the cyber security. Again, when we are going for the investigation, we are going with a deep study of any kind of device, its activity. So that is where we go with the cyber forensic. Many kind of cyber security we need nowadays. Like we have security implemented in our devices. We have the application security in our mobile. We have the password authentication. We have some pattern authentication. So different kind of authentication security is inbuilt in our mobile also. We need the information security, like we need our password security. We need our files safe and secure. We need the network security. Maybe I'm in the network, you are in the network. So we need the security of the network also, maybe in the office also. So there also cyber security comes operational. Any kind of office is there, they deal with lot of personal information like sorry, authenticated information which can't be shared. So operational security also comes with the cyber security. We should have the encryption, data should have the encryption, access control, many kind of access control are possible, maybe in the bank, maybe in the offices where the authenticated data is available. So access control is also there, one of it's there. End user education nowadays, like online education, we are also here with the online education. So maybe there is possibility that someone just jam this particular session and they just reveal your locations, reveal your identity, reveal your other information. So end user education also, we need the cyber security. As we are more dealing with the cyber world, we need the proper security. So that's where the cyber security terms arises. Disaster recovery, a lot of things are like as I said, cyber forensic, a lot of recoveries require once if any kind of disaster, any kind of problem occurs in the middle. So in order to deal with that, we require the cyber security. Any kind of attack is possible. In order to deal with those attacks, we require the security terminology. As a person also, if somebody is attacking me, I need the security. So same way, if somebody is going to attack on the cyber, we require the security. That's where we are going with the cyber security term. Recently, just I have taken some of the news, like it's always be in the trends, like just in I have taken one of the article that is from Deccan Chronicle, like from February 2 to February May, there are more cyber attacks are happening as per the report from Microsoft. Just this is the news from May 12th. So like Microsoft also has, they have given that in between this lockdown period itself, there is a lot of cyber activities going on. That is of COVID team. Maybe you are getting some mail regarding COVID, COVID loan, COVID remedy, COVID threats. So different kind of COVID themed cyber attacks are also going on nowadays. That is one of the very recent news with the cyber attack. As another article says, 37% increase in the cyber attacks in India in quarter 2020. That is the report from Forbes. So cyber attack is increasing day by day in 2020. Now we are in the 2020. So cyber attacks are increasing in this also. Again, cyber attack in the mobile workforce. Nowadays we are using mobile phones. A lot of data is being uploaded onto the server. Whatever the activity you are doing, I'll show you how the activity is stored onto the server. Whatever the website you access, what kind of details are stored onto the server without your knowledge itself. So I'll show you that practically with our server. So there are a lot of cyber activities going on with the world nowadays. Some of the latest incidents 2020, you must have heard that we had the ransomware attack. Simply someone attacker, what he do is he capture the access of your smartphone or computer system, and they ask you the money, they ask you the ransom for that. So that is the ransomware attack. Again, there is one more attack was happened, that is Greenville water. That is also one of the attack where a lot of computers has been hacked. So these are some latest incidents. In 2019, there is one attack where World Economical Forum, they have said that 1.1 billion data of Aadhaar is under breach. So, and nowadays we heard that Setu app is also under breach. So there is possibility that a lot of attacks are possible, whatever we are doing around us. In 2018, one of the Cosmos Bank, that is of Pune branch, they have faced one of the cyber attack of huge, that is first for 94 crore of transaction to one of the another bank. So these are some of the latest incidents which is happening in the which has happened in this world. 2018, some of the Canara Bank incident we had. Some of 2016 we have the Kaspersky Lab incident we have. Again, some of the another website we have. Marriott is also even reported that they have compromised the data of their customer because of the cyber attack. So if we go from the long time and even today, just we have seen the news. So a lot of cyber attacks are going on and it's happening all around us. Even just a very recent example of one of my friend. If you will see this, that is the mail of 7 June. So his Facebook account is hacked. If you can see this, this is one of the interesting, so I just added in this. So how the attack happened, see, this is one of the Facebook account, and his ID was this, and this has been changed to this ID when it happened 7th June, just before 2 days. So just I have included it, that even your account can also get hacked, maybe Instagram, maybe the Facebook. So these are the things possible. This is one of the recently just I faced with one of person that who come to me that for the cyber help. So I'm just showing you, this is the example that how the cyber attacks are happening. Even your Facebook account, your other accounts are also can be hacked. That your website, your mail ID, your contact number can change to another. Now it is unable to find it, unable to search it. So that is possible. Let's go to some of the hackers view. Hackers view, how the hackers think, how the hackers do. So there are so many tools nowadays available in the market, available on the internet. As we are living in the internet world, we are talking about the internet world. There are so many tools which are there over the internet through which the hackers do hack the things. So there is one of the tool that is Tor. Tor is simply what you can do is you can install that software. The hacker do install the software and they can do whatever the activity they want. And the speciality of this tool is you can hide your location, you can hide your identity, you can hide your IP address, you can hide your MAC address. The whatever the data comes from your system, that can be hide using the Tor software. So this is one of the point of view from the hackers, that they use such kind of software so that their data is not visible to the end user and they can do perform their hacking activities. One more software, one more extension we have, that is Google Chrome Hola. So that is also one of the Google extension, using which what we can do is we can we can unblock the site which are not even allowed in our country. So this extension automatically this allow to explore the website which are not accessible in our country. So using this website you are accessible to all around the world. So this is one of the again extension from the hacker point of view, that they can use this kind of software which are not accessible in your country. So identity can be hidden. One more, like we have one website like smsgang.com. Some other website is also there. They are for the SMS spoofing. What they do is simply you can give my number from number, you can give the recipient number, and you can give the message. So what will happen? So it's like virtual message. Like I'm not sending the message to my friend, but using the website, what can is possible is someone can send the message to my friend's number from my number. Even I don't know it's sending the message, but still it is sharing or it is delivering the message without my knowledge. So there are some websites are also available from the hackers point of view, that even without my knowledge, without the information, someone can send the message from my mobile. SMS can be sent. Maybe someone can send the SMS from my mobile that I need some money, please deposit in so and so account. So this is also one of the cyber attack, that without my knowledge, mobile is getting the particular message from my number. So maybe some another person end user will trust that I am having the need and he can transfer. So this is also possible. So this is one of the cyber attack, that how it happened, that is the SMS spoofing. SMS spoofing is happening nowadays, like people are using this kind of SMS spoofing websites to deliver the spoof messages. There is steganography, like people, you get the images, there is a message behind those images. Steganography is simply you are hiding some message inside the particular image. Whenever you are hiding the particular message, maybe text message, maybe the related message with the passwords, maybe message related with anomaly. So that message is hidden within the object. Maybe it is hidden inside the image, hidden inside the video, hidden inside the file. So this all comes with the steganography. So message can be hide inside the data. So that is one of the steganography. So this is also how the hackers do. Like I am delivering you the picture of one Bhopal lake, but inside that picture I am sharing you the authenticated information. I am sharing you the unwanted links. So that is one of the cyber attack. Once again, we have one more, that is email spoofing. We have the websites like MKE, MK, a lot of websites are there. What is possible with them is like simply same as email, SMS spoofing. I'm not sending the mail to you, but mail is coming from my ID. That is the email spoofing. Means, let's say I'm an official person and I'm not sending mail to my employee that tomorrow is off, tomorrow is working day, or tomorrow this is a meeting we have. But still there is possibility that from my mail ID, someone can send the mail to my staff. How it happens? There are tools, there are websites that comes under email spoofing. So there are a lot of attacks, email spoofing, SMS spoofing. This happen nowadays in the cyber world. There are spy softwares. Spy softwares can be installed in your smartphone. Spy software can be installed in your computer so that all the activity can be monitored. Either it is related to your password activity, your personal activity. A lot of things are possible that can be monitored with the help of spy software. Even there are software which turn on the your camera also automatically. Sometime maybe you have installed that software, max of the time we don't turn off the laptop completely. So there is possibility that using this spy software, someone can turn on your camera and they can watch your activity. So blackmailing cases, these kind of things happen with the help of this spy softwares. So there are a lot of possibility that spy softwares, a lot of spoofing, a lot of software like Tor, a lot of extension like Cola. There are things using which the identity can be hidden and attacks can be performed. So such thing happen nowadays. That is from the point of view of hackers. So these are the way like how the attackers use, and uh, we have to get rid out of it. We have to save ourselves from these kind of attacks. Nowadays, like as we are in the world of smartphone, we are world of internet where we are using the IoT devices, we are using internet all the time. So there is internet, there is automation all over the world. Like whether we are dealing with the foods, livings, corporates, either it comes to the online delivery, either it comes to the supply chain, either it comes to the communication in corporates, home automation. Even in our homes also there is automation. We don't need to use switches, we can operate all the devices from the mobile phone. So we have the home automation, we have the smart traffic and digital boards. Nowadays we have the smart traffic system, like automatically, like it can identify where we have the crowd, where we have the people, and how it need to divert. So we have the smart signal process also. Nowadays we have the digital boards. Now automatically, like they can show you the information that where is the traffic, where there is empty roads. So there are digital boards are also there to automatically display the information based on the sensors, based on the information around us, based on the sensor information. So nowadays we are going with the lot of lot of automation activities which are all around us. Like this is one of the topic which is very emerging. Like we have threats all over around. Like previously when we did not had the internet, we did not had the cyber world, we had the physical threats, we needed this physical security. But now as we are going to the cyber world, we are going to the automation world, we are going to the internet world, there is no much physical security, much that one needed, but more often we need the cyber security. One more automation, we have the automation of robots, automobiles. Nowadays we have the self-driving car. So there also, like maybe there is a self-driving car, completely system is good, but suppose like somebody hacked that particular automated system of self-driving car, what is possible that you can get the physically damaged, car can get physically damaged, maybe you reach to the wrong place without your knowledge. So then physical damage can happen. So there is possible threats with the automation, just as the example of the self-driving car. So there is possibility. So there are possibility of attacks. As more we are going to the cyber world, there is a lot of attacks are possible and it will happen. So the future of war is the cyber war, and we need to be secure, we need to make ourselves secure with the cyber security terminology. So it is going to apply in all over the world, either we know or we don't know. from Windows 10, automatically one of the window defender comes. From the mobile also automatically some virus scanning software comes, because whatever we are using with the internet, we require the security, and that's where we go to the cyber security. We are connected with the internet, like at home, everything around us, it is running with the internet. So it's all about IoT. We are connected with the internet every time, all the time we are connected with the internet. So the breaches are possible, like someone can change the digital message, like as I said, is spoofing, like SMS spoofing or email spoofing. So someone can send the unwanted message. Even if there is a attacker in the middle, they can change the message, they can change the digital message, wrong message can be spread. Nowadays, as we say, there is a wrong information or fake information is spreading in the on the WhatsApp, like maybe there is lockdown tomorrow, there is no lockdown tomorrow. So these all are the wrong information which also comes under the cyber attack.
उनकी लगेगा तो जैसे कि ऑप्शन नहीं आ रहा है तो सारा मेरा चार्ज लग रहा है 400 रुपए।
आना चाहिए यूपीआई का ऑप्शन, देखो उसमें किसी और के उससे करके देखो फोन से।
हेलो,
नहीं हो रहा है, हम हार गए हैं। जो
अभिषेक साहू,
participant are requested please for sorry.
So hello. So changing the digital message, wrong message can be spread over, device can be controlled, and the damage can be done physically. So that is the breach possible. So there are a lot of breaches are possible. Like yesterday, our sir also told that the cyber police, they are also doing a lot of things for this, because their department is even connected with for these things. There is a special cell, they have the admin group for this. Why? Because a lot of cyber crimes are going on nowadays. So like damaging the traffic control system, home activity, physical crisis, maybe in the shopping cart. We have one of the shopping cart attack, that is blocking cart. What happens in this blocking cart is, whenever you are doing the e-commerce, automatically there are a lot of products are added in your cart until and unless that particular e-commerce website comes to the out of stock. This is how the blocking cart attack. What happened in this is, let's say I'm using the Flipkart and Flipkart is having the 50 stock of a laptop. So in this attack, what happened is, all those stock automatically get added into the customer cart. So what happened in this case is that Flipkart goes to the out of stock because of this particular attack. So that's how the blocking cart happens. So there is, whatever we are doing, there is a lot of attacks. Even like as I said, blocking cart, one of the example of e-commerce, like it's outfilling of the stock of a particular e-commerce website. So there are a lot of breaches are possible whenever we are dealing with the mobile phones. Even even if you are using the Facebook, like locations is shared, a lot of things are shared. I'll show you how the locations is sharing that in my server session. So internet, while we are using the internet, there is a lot of kind of attacks are there. So threats, I'll discuss some of the terminologies here. So we have the one of the thing that is phishing. So phishing, simply we have the website. Let's say I'm having the website like sbicard.com. So this is the original website, but the phishing comes to the duplicacy of the website, means creating the duplicate website of same area or same design or same look and feel or same activity. But the phishing websites are intended to reveal the customer information, to steal the customer information. Like if there is original website of SBI card, what will happen is, I'll simply go log in, I'll do my transaction and I'll come out. But if it is a phishing website of SBI card, what will happen is, it will not, it will take you the login, it will take the card details, but the transaction will not happen, and simply maybe you can log out and some server error or something kind of error will come. But till now what happened is, your login credentials are saved on their server, your another website, another card details are saved on their server. So this is where the phishing websites come. There are a lot of websites, there are a lot of clones. Even somewhere, some people have claimed that Facebook clone also came and they have captured a lot of data. So there is phishing. So phishing websites, there are duplicacy of the same website in order to steal the customer's data. So this is also happen. So you should able to understand whenever we are using any kind of website. At least you should read the URL. At least you should see that is the secure website or not. So before going blindly, like simply what we do is, maybe previously we browse one of the website, simply we write SB, so automatically it comes. And maybe sometime we search on the Google SBI, so maybe some phishing website having the ranking or they have the ads for that. So I'm clicking on the ad and I'm the victim of one of the phishing attack, one of the phishing victim I can be at that time. Why? Because I am going to the wrong website instead of the correct website. And what I'm doing is I'm sharing my data to that particular wrong website. So that is where the phishing comes. Like duplicacy of the website, duplicate clone of the particular website to steal the customer's data, to steal the end user's data. So you should always be careful whenever you are using some of the authenticated website. You should see the complete URL. You should see it is secured or not. So you should see the authenticity of the particular website. Then only you should use your credential. Otherwise, you can be the victim of a attack. One of the things I have just told you, that is spoofing, sending the unauthorized message from your identity, like using my identity without my knowledge and sending the information to another person. So that is one of the spoofing. I just already told you there are SMS spoofing, there is email spoofing, uploading the wrong information. This is one of the threat. Private information capturing, users activity capturing, this is also happening. And whatever, like maybe I'm sleeping on the night, so it is possible that some of the particular company, particular app, what it can do is whatever the activity you have done throughout the day, it can capture in night time. So this is also possible. This is also one of the biggest threat. That's why we should do like we should turn off the mobile. Maybe we can turn off the mobile if possible while we are not using, or at least at night time, because people can schedule the backup of that particular data using their application which is in our mobile. So that is also one of the threat is possible, that privacy information can be captured, our activity of complete daily time can be captured. So that is also one of the threat. So you should be aware of these kind of applications. You should not use the unwanted so many applications so that your information get revealed. One of the attack, that is the SQL injection. This is one of the important attack where you don't see the platform where you have the particular information, but using some of the SQL queries, using the injection queries, simply injecting your database, directly attack to your database is comes to the SQL injection. Like simply what is happening is, there is a database, lot of customers information is there, someone comes with the injection, that is one of the SQL query, which are the specialized query for the injecting of database. So SQL injection can happen. So SQL injection is one of the threat attack. SQL injection, like maybe like some of the people, they want to reveal the data from the website, critical data can be revealed. So SQL injection, from where it comes. So there are the statements which can control your data behind the web application. So attackers can use the SQL injection vulnerabilities, SQL injection queries, so that they can bypass the security of your application and they can directly attack onto the database. So this is also one of the things which is possible, that is the SQL injection. Means without knowing of the admin, without knowing of the server, there is possibility that someone can attack onto directly onto your database. They can reveal your data. So that is also one of the possibility of cyber threat, that is the SQL injection. So people can bypass the security rules. Maybe we have taken some of the rule that if your IP address is this and this, so that only application will allow you to enter. maybe you have given the location security, maybe you have given the IP security. So that all can be bypassed from the application, and people can directly jump to your database of your application. So that is the possibility from some of the SQL queries. So that is SQL injection. How we can get out of it is we should use some stored procedure, some prepared statement. There are some special type of queries which should be used while you are working with the special authenticated application, special authenticated database. So using this, you can get away from the SQL injection attack. You should validate all your SQL data. You should validate your all the inputs, all the whitelist, all the vulnerable queries, vulnerable SQL queries. You should check before deploying of your application so that you can get rid of these kind of queries. So SQL injection is one of the attack which is happening directly to the database. So the application which are of poor performance, which are of less performance, that can be attacked with the SQL injection. Attack with the public, yeah. One of the concern and one of the very popular thing nowadays, like wherever we go, we get a lot of time free Wi-Fi. Maybe free Wi-Fi in the cafe, free Wi-Fi in the shop, free Wi-Fi at the airport, on the railway station. So at a lot of place we are getting the free Wi-Fi, and as we have the smart devices, we have the smartphone. What we are doing is we are using those free Wi-Fi. So I would like to just tell more about it. So there is possibility and lot of possibility with those free and public Wi-Fi attacks. Like there are attacks that is man in the middle, because as you are using the Wi-Fi network, so there can be a person in the middle who can capture your information. These are the type of attacks which are happening in the public Wi-Fi. When you are using the public Wi-Fi, there is possibility these are the attacks can happen with you. One of the popular attack is man in the middle. Maybe there is possibility that one of the person is you, one of the person is another one, or end user. So man in the middle, one of the attack where one person or intruder can come in the middle and he can attack on your secure data, and he can capture your information. So this is one of the attack which is possible when you are using the public Wi-Fi. Packet analyzers, sniffers, there are softwares which can analyze the packets. Packets is simply information or data which you are sharing. Maybe you are browsing some internet activity, you are doing some transaction, you are doing some another activity. So there is possibility with this kind of tools, packet analyzers, sniffers. What they can do is they can analyze your data, they can analyze your packet, and they can reveal your information. So these are the things are attacks are possible with the internet when you are using the public Wi-Fi. So there are attacks are possible. Ad hoc network, yeah. When you go to the particular public network, what happen is your device, your either it's your mobile device, either it's your computer device, it becomes an ad hoc network. It also become as a feed. It also become as a node to deliver the data, to exchange the data. So what the possibility is, as you are also in the network, maybe you are also delivering the data, you are taking the data. So there is a possibility of the people can capture your data. So whenever you go to the public Wi-Fi, so ad hoc network attack is also possible, endpoint attack is also possible. Your mobile phone, your laptop, that also becomes the endpoint. So what is possible is at that time someone can attack on your device, they can reveal your information, they can even copy all of your data from your system to their system. So that is possible in the case of ad hoc network and endpoint attack. uh, as this is a public Wi-Fi, there is a mishandled Wi-Fi security setup, because it is a public Wi-Fi. No one cares that how it is set up, what is the password, because there is no security they want to give. So all the security setup is very much mishandled. So whenever you're going with the public Wi-Fi, all the security is under breach. Means there is no proper setup, no security. The complete network is unencrypted. Means whatever the packets are transferring, they are going directly as it is. So middle person can have the particular information. Because Wi-Fi is security. So there is possibility that this done by the unprofessional or directly deployed by the broadband deployer. and just they have deployed the as a free Wi-Fi. So that is mishandled unencrypted data server network where your information can be revealed. So there are some tips I have given here. So you should not allow your Wi-Fi to auto connect to the network. Means, let's say if your system is auto connect and if you are going to the public place, automatically it's connected to Wi-Fi, automatically it's become unsecure, and without your knowledge itself.
Sir, unmute yourself. Vikal sir, unmute yourself.
So you should not allow your mobile Wi-Fi to auto connect or laptop Wi-Fi to auto connect, because what is possibility is, in case even you don't know but your mobile is connected, it is under unprotected server, it is also become a endpoint, it is also become a ad hoc network. So what is possibility is someone can reveal your all the data without your knowledge, even if you are in that network for 1 hour. So a lot of information can be revealed, because generally whenever you connect on, some hacker is intended to do so. So automatically some of the authenticated information can be captured, some of the application information can be captured. So you should not allow your mobile Wi-Fi to auto connect to all the network. At the same time, whenever you are whenever you are going to the public Wi-Fi area, you should not work with the sensitive websites, like maybe internet banking, maybe some of the your important social accounts, your company data. So you should not work with the source sensitive information, sensitive websites. At the same time, you should not leave your Wi-Fi open. Maybe you are generating hotspot from your mobile, and that is the open Wi-Fi. So anybody can connect, they can be in the network, and information can be passed. So that is also possible. So whenever it is coming to the public Wi-Fi, you should not leave your Wi-Fi also open, because as I said, also become the ad hoc network. It also become the endpoint in the particular network. So there is a possibility of revealing your information without your knowledge. You should not log in the unprotected network, just simply entering your mobile number, getting one OTP, and you are just logging. So that is one of the unprotected network. Maybe like depends where you are. Maybe if you are in a place where the internet is established with without any much precaution, so there is possibility that that can be a breach. So you should not log in the unprotected servers, because there is possibility of attacks with the public Wi-Fi, which happens a lot of. As I told that Marriott has also claimed that there's customer data has been revealed. So a lot of attacks are happened with this particular kind of public Wi-Fi activities. So whenever you are going with the public Wi-Fi, you should be aware of these kind of attacks. Just do the normal trends. You can do the normal things, but you should not do the sensitive work, sensitive information on the particular network. Precautions, I just given here some of the precautions, because we should be the safe. So when we are going to the safe, we should have the MAC filters. We should use some of the VPN based security. We should have the mail filters, because a lot of mails are coming nowadays. We should use the site blocker, because the website can be safe with the help of site blockers. So just I have given you the one of the chart that how the communication or how the particular precautions can be taken while we are going for the secure communication. So we can use the MAC filters, we can use some VPN level security, we can use the mail filters, site blockers are there. Whenever we are using any kind of mobile phone, we should use the firewalls. Again, firewall is one of the security, one of the secure wall in between you and internet. So whenever some of the threats are coming, at least firewall can stop it up to some of the level. So you should use the firewalls in your computer. MAC filters, that previously I told, MAC filter, like some of the Macs you can block, you can filter those identity block, that these are the information will not come. You should use the proper antiviruses. Nowadays, even in our computer, automatically antiviruses are coming. So that is one of the good things. Even in mobile also, some of the mobile are getting the automatic scanner. So that is also one of the good things. So we should use the antivirus because they always keep on research. They always keep research on these kind of activities. So there are antiviruses which are working day by day as how the doctor community and other community are working with their normal viruses. Same like there are companies who are working with the cyber viruses. So they keep it updated. So you should have one proper antivirus so that you are updated with the cyber virus activities. Your document, your data should be in the cyber locker. You should be have the data should be encrypted whenever, either if we are using the cloud server, your data should be encrypted. You should use the proper security. You should use it's not for the DDoS attack. DDoS attack. One of the popular attack in this cyber security term is DDoS, distributed DOS attack. We have in that. In order to tackle with that particular DDoS attack, you should use it's not that is one of the software using which you can use the you can handle the DDoS attack. Two-step authentication, like nowadays everywhere we have the two-step authentication, depends on you either you are enabling them or not. But the recommendation is, or highly recommendation is, that you should enable the two-step authentication. Means one authentication is your password, another authentication is your device, or another authentication is your mobile number, or some other possible authentication. So that is two-step authentication. One is your regular password and one is the uh, password which is currently available with you, which is you can provide instantly. That is instant generated password, you can say. So you should have the two-step authentication. That's how we can, like, and once again, like, human risk should be avoided. That's how you can be go to the safe zone. So there are precautions to be taken whenever you're going to have the communication. You should follow some of these steps in your regular life or in your devices so that you can be safe with some of extent. It's not that 100% you can be safe, because even like embassy also get the attack. Embassy, any kind of banks are also getting the attack. Even they have the cyber security expert and team, they also get the attack. So nothing is safe, because as like till before 3 months 4 months we were safe with all kind of viruses, all kind of diseases, but again now we became unsafe because of the new virus. So same here, when it comes to the cyber world also, we can't say that we are safe. Any day one virus can come and it can damage all of the account. It can damage your Facebook, WhatsApp, it can damage all of the thing, and you become the out of social media, you become out of network. Maybe some virus comes in your mobile and it damage all your application. It just wipe out all the contacts from your mobile. So that is also possible. So any kind of things is possible, any kind of virus can become, but a safety measure can be taken, the precautions can be taken by us. Yeah, and before I go to the server thing, I'm just for the research point of view, or for the people, those who are doing the research, maybe MTech or PhD or some research level. So I just gathered some of the research topic in cyber security. Like sometimes people come that we need to do the research on our cyber security topic. Maybe you are trying to find some IEEE papers, some Springer papers. So these are some of the topics in which cyber security research can be done. Like one of these, violence analysis in cyber tweets and cyber recruitment. How the recruitment happened by the terrorism, how the recruitment happened with the terrorist, that happened with the help of the social media. So that is what we call as cyber recruitment, as they don't do the recruitment physically, like visiting and all. So how they do recruitment is they do the recruitment with the help of cyber system, they with the help of some of the social media. So there is a research possible is in the cyber recruitment, lot of spamming activity, spam tweets, cyber tweets, violence in the tweets, maybe some of the wrong information is spreaded over the internet. So that kind of research can be added in your research. So there are a lot of IEEE and Springer and standard papers are available in the portals, so that you can have these kind of papers, you can have this kind of research that will comes to your cyber security related research. one of the researches nowadays, as we know that a lot of research are happening, but lot of duplicate research are also happening. So in order to prevent by that, you can research on this plagiarism detection software. You can work with the plagiarism analysis, document spam analysis from the article in the research, which is already adopted by many universities. Even the RGPV is also having one of the plagiarism software, so that they scan internal research works. So if there is a research work which is already done in the RGPV, they just don't allow it, or they just ask to modify. So this is also one of the security research points, security research topic that can be done. One of the topic is that is network security or malicious node detection. Whenever we are dealing with the network wireless sensor network, maybe we are dealing with some of the intranet or internet, IPv6, IPv4. So these are also connected with the internet security. So there are a lot of people who are doing the research with the IPv4, IPv6, network security, maybe some selfish nodes detection, maybe some malicious node detection. And in order to provide the security to the network, some of the encryption techniques are introduced in the network. So this is also one of the possible research topic where the research can be done in the cyber security. Again, we are going with the cloud. So there are breaches in the cloud. There is a lot of data nowadays is stored in the cloud. So cloud security with proper data storage, cloud authentication, because whenever we are going to use the cloud, we should have the proper authentication also, because a lot of data is going to store into the cloud. So that is where we have one of the topic, that is cloud security with proper data storage, data authentication, data authorization. So that is one of the research topic which belongs to the cyber security. One of the security topic is different password techniques. Like we can introduce some of the new password techniques. Like nowadays we have the two-factor authentication. Maybe we can find some problem identification in it, and we can work with some another password, another authentication or authorization technique. Maybe some graphical password, maybe some other numeric password, some combination password. So that is also one of the possible research topic in cyber security field that can be done, that can be taken by the some of the research stakeholders. We have the privacy preserving, like as the medical data is highly secure and authenticated data, which should not reveal the diseases and ages and some of the important report information to end user. So there also like possibility that hospital people, they can take the data, they can, another person can reveal the data, they can do the study. So here, in order to preserve the particular identity of the users, identity of the patient, like nowadays, like we have the corona patients, so there is a lot of data is coming out, but there is also need the privacy. So maybe there is privacy preserving medical data research will be going on in the future also, because this is privacy preserving when it comes to the medical data or any kind of sensitive data information on the server or cloud, that comes to the privacy preserving. So that's where we need the one of the research, one of the algorithm in the medical field and cloud. So this is one of the emerging topic that is that can be done in the cyber security research. One of we have, and as I said, there are sensors, there are devices. So a lot of temporal cyber security big data is generating nowadays. Like even there is a traffic signal, every car is, like in the future the cars are going to connect with the internet, even the people's smartphones are connected with the internet. So a lot of temporal data is also getting connected, a lot of sensor information data is also connected, also collected over the server. So that's how it become the huge big data. So there is a research possible that can be happen in the temporal cyber security big data. So there can be a big data concept comes along with the cyber security, and a lot of data is there, and that is the rapidly generated data. So this is also one of the hot research topic in cyber security which can be done. Then again, intelligence transport system, as I said, there is a smart signals, there is a smart traffic system. So security analysis in that also can be done. So here, this is also one of the hot topic. Again, security in IoT devices, home automation is coming, is already applied in some of the countries. In our India also, some of the places it's applied, and it will be the part of us in future. So security in IoT devices, security with automation, VANET, vehicular ad hoc network, cloud computing, mobile devices, lot of things are there which we are dealing currently, which we will be dealing currently, because this is not the thing which we can skip. Even if we want it or we don't want it, we have to accept it that we can't skip the automation, we can't skip the tomorrow's world, we can't skip the IoT devices, we can't skip the automatic cyber hub which is happening all around us. So that is where the research belongs. So this is one of the hot topic. Even if you will browse over the internet also, there is one of the article of I think 20th of May, they have already given that this is one of the future and this is one of the most job creating sector also. So these are the research topics which can be done in the as in your research area, maybe in your MTech or PhD, you can do this kind of thing. One of the topic which is related to this particular FDP, that is blockchain. If time permits, I'll just give some of the small example of blockchain also. Before going to that, I'll just go to this server, that what are the informations are being revealed in your from your server. Let's go to the server because I do operate the server. So let's see here. I'll just show you that whenever you are operating any kind of website, what are the data is being revealed. Like what are the data is automatically captured without even you know it. Let me show it from the live server. So I have one of the live cloud servers. So I'll just log in into it. So just this is I have one of the server. Just I'm showing you what are the server security they include and what are the informations from your devices revealed on the server. And even this is not this is not one of the more authenticated server because we don't need that much security. So you can just understand how much information is revealed from your device. So this is one of the server where I'll just show you the small map. Like here we keep a lot of website of us, like a lot of our client website we do host here. In one server we host around 50 websites. So all the websites are hosted here. Like I can change the data or I do handle the data from this particular server. So just I'm going with particular current user. So I can handle I can access all the users, all the websites from here. These are all our client actually. So just all the informations of all the client, like all the means we can say whatever the access is being done by end user, that is being stored in this server, the server which I have. So this is one of the cloud server which I have from HostGator. So if we see, there are a lot of modules, even email. So if we see what are the security they provide, email they provide the security, that is spam filter. They do provide the spam filter. We can add the spam filtering here where the spam can be blocked. Here we have the files that don't require here. This is also module one, module not required here. Let's go to the security. When it goes to the security, there are a lot of securities are possible in the particular websites or particular server. There is a security that is SSL security. IP blocker is there. You can block particular IP. There is SSL security is there. You can have the SSL certification. You can have the HTTP, HTTPS. You can have the hot link protection. Like your website should not link with these particular links. Your website should not be connected with those particular links. So the hot link security is there, leash protection is there, mode security is there. So we should have the turn on, like see here, if we go this one. So there is possibility, see here, the mode security I have enabled for all the devices. So we may disable the mode security where my domains are maybe under the breach. So whenever it comes to the cloud, whenever it comes to the server, there is security modules are provided, especially in the servers also, where the security can be handled. So security is possible. Now where I wanted to go is here, the cloud is not required, cloud security, cloud security. That it depends on requirement, what kind of security you need, that can be taken with the servers. Password security, that is okay. That is not required. Let's see, whenever the person is visiting this particular website, what are the information has been stored onto the server. We have one of the out states of see here. Just if we see here, okay. So if we see here, there is a lot of things are stored. Means there is a monthly history. Just I'll go before the period. Okay, let me take another domain. So if I see this particular domain, so there is a lot of information in these stored. Like it show me the monthly history. It give me the like monthly visitors. Now when it gives the monthly visitors, when it gives the it gives me the daily visitor also, like days of month. See here, it gives me the daily visitors also, like how many visitors are visiting. Now again, I can have the more detailed information also from here, this server, that who was the visitor, what was the IP address, what was the MAC address, that is also possible. Let's go more. So daily activity information can also being saved on the server. Even I can see today on 9th, there are some 19 customers, they have visited my 68 pages and they have also consumed my some of the data. So that is also I can see. Again, days of week, which day is more consumption of data is happening, what is the hour of attack or what is the hour of most visible people, that is also can be monitored from the server. Then again, yeah, this is one of the most, that locations, even I can track the locations also, locations, most of the visiting places, like from which particular location this particular website is visiting. I can have the full list from where I can get the complete list also. Then I can have the IP addresses also, like whoever are the visitors, maybe some of the visitors from particular country. So, and we can see here, so we can, what we can see is all the IP addresses also stored onto the server. Means whatever the website you are visiting, your IP address automatically it is stored onto their servers. So if they want, they can, maybe they can claim on you, they can just they can block your IP. A lot of things are possible. Even this is here we can see it is showing that what is the time this particular IP address is last visited my particular server and how much data it has consumed. So this is also possible. So IP address is possible. Then again here on the server, all board information also here, as I can see, this is one of the Yandex board. This is oftenly visiting my websites. So this is also like reveal on the particular server that what are the boards, how many boards are visiting your website, what are the boards are maybe they are trying. So means what from here you can do is you can block the boards which are not of your knowledge, which are not of your identification. You can block the port and you can save your server. So a lot of server activity happens. Here there is Facebook having bot, Google having the bot, Apache having the bot. So a lot of bots visits also happen on your website, even uh, without your knowledge. So it can be hacked, cloud server can be hacked, web server can be hacked. So this is the breach is possible. Again, the timing it says, file type, maybe there is a lot of data is downloaded from your website, maybe some of the particular files are automatically downloaded, your bandwidth is consumed completely, maybe your data is consumed completely, so that is also possible. So that can be tracked from the server, so this is also possible. Again, the process URL, maybe some of the URL hit by particular website, so that is particular possible that people can have it. So a lot of things are trackable, even devices are trackable, like which operating systems are being mostly used, even the browsers are also trackable from which it is used, even it is trackable. See here that iOS it is using, maybe it is using some of the Android. So all the operating systems are also trackable, browsers are also trackable, and even what I'm showing is I'm showing which are possible to show. Beyond this also a lot of things which is possible to track from the customer's identity. This is I'm not supposed to show, that's why I'm showing the limited thing here, but from the cloud server I can track all the users activity on the website. So next time whenever you are visiting the website, maybe you are visiting the authenticated website or unauthenticated website, maybe you are doing the normal chat or abnormal chat, so you should be aware that your complete data is being saved on the server, even your IP address, your location, your identity. Even behind this there is a lot of things is also available which being automatically tracked, even I want it or I don't want it, it is being tracked. So a lot of things are being tracked, from which website we are connected, maybe are connected from Google, from Facebook, some other website. So from which website the people are connected. Here I can see 1085 people they have connected directly. So there is how many errors are there. So a lot of things which are I'm supposed to show from the server, that is I'm showing only. But apart from that, there is a lot of information also which is automatically stored on the server. So what I mean to say is, whenever you are browsing any kind of website, there is a lot of information which are being always revealed on their servers. So you should be aware, you should be safe whenever you're using any kind of website. You should not reveal your password identities easily, you should not type your things easily. One of the attack I'll show you, that I told you, that is the SQL injection. So how SQL injection happen is, I'll just show you one of the example. Let's say I'm not dealing with the application, I'm not dealing with the interface directly, I'm having the database. Let's say I'm having the server database. Maybe I'm having one of the tables that is having the admin credential. So I have some of the admin credential for one of the application that is not accessible to you. So just I'm showing that, let's say I'm having one of the credential. So simply whenever I will implement any concept for login, what I will do is I will write some of the query. So some of the people what they do is like, let's say I'm having the username and password field. Some of the people what they do is select all from where username. Let me see the data first. Let's say I'm having the admin, and admin is the ID and password, one of the. Okay. So simply maybe there is possibility that when I will implement the logic, or some normal will implement the logic, maybe how they can implement is they can implement like this, like maybe username is admin and password is admin. what it will reveal is, it will reveal the data, maybe it will use for the authentication purpose. I'm just getting one of the data. So simply, sometimes this is a normal query which we should not use. This is not recommended, because using some simple queries, data within the query, that is one of the biggest breach to your database. So currently I'm passing the data, maybe I don't know the name, then what will happen is I will not get the data. Maybe let's say I'm not having this username, maybe I don't know this password, maybe I'm writing the password as Vigal. So as the password is not available, I'll not get the data, because the particular data is not available in the. This is how the login happen. If the username and password which you have given, it is available, that means it will log in. If it is not available, that means it will give the wrong user. So that's how this select query works, normal traditional select queries. And nowadays we are moving with the big data and a lot of other concepts, so there is less breach in it. But if you are using the traditional queries, so how the SQL injection happens, I'll show you one of the example. So let's say I don't know username and password, so maybe I can give this query username equal to I don't know, and password also I don't know, but I don't know this SQL. I know this SQL query. See, so if you can observe here, this particular select query, I don't have information of username, I don't have information of password, but what I have done is I revealed all the data from the server table. What I'm doing is directly I'm injecting the database. This is how the SQL injection query works. That this is one of the SQL injection query. Just I'm showing you one of the example, that this is one of the SQL injection query. What is happening is I don't know the username, even I don't know the password, but I'm revealing the complete admin table. Just imagine, maybe there is a table where there is 10 lakh of data is available, and I just want to access. So simply with the help of SQL injection queries, I can access it. So this is one of the biggest breach to database. So one of the possibility is you should encrypt your database. You should never use the unencrypted database. Whenever for the developer it is, whenever you are using any kind of SQL database or any database, you should not use it as unencrypted, because using this small SQL injection queries, it can reveal without any hurdles, bypassing the application security, directly injecting the database. That is possible with the SQL injection, as I showed you just now. So without knowing of the data, I can reveal the table. So this is possible in the server also. So that is where. So that's how we use the encrypted data. Let me see if any encrypted data I have. How we store the data on the server. The other. Okay. See here, that's how, like whenever you are going with the any kind of database, you should always use the particular encrypted password. You should always use the server as encrypted. Means whatever the authenticated information you have, that should be encrypted. That should be your first priority, because whenever some server reveals or server data reveals or server data get hacked, so at least your information should be secure. Your information should not be as an open network. It should not be in plain text. So you should always use the encryption here. So this is what we have used for the password. So it should be implemented whenever you are dealing with any kind of database. So, and whenever you are dealing with website which don't use some of the security, so of course there is a breach, and the data and password reveals are possible. This is just I wanted to show you how the server is, and where this particular security belongs, and what are the information has been revealed. Just now what I have showed you is I have showed you this particular states matrix, but there is other things are also possible that visitors, I can have the complete information, I can have the raw access also, and whatever the errors, if there is any intruder, there are things are error is coming onto the server that can be monitored. So a lot of things are possible. I can have the other tracking also. A lot of things are possible from the server end. So be careful whenever you are browsing any kind of websites. Let's go back to the presentation. Yes. So the lastly what I have discussed is I discussed about the research topic in cybersecurity. So whenever you're going for the research, there are a lot of topics which are possible to discuss about the research, about the devices, and a lot of research can be done. And this is one of the future research concepts. And nowadays also it's running with the research institutions, universities. You can also adopt the same. And one of the emerging topic, which is also one of the topic of this FDP, that is blockchain. And blockchain is adopted by a lot of firms, lot of government projects. Even in our MP also, the government is working with this blockchain real estate project, where the land allocation and allotment registry that can be done with the help of this particular project. So blockchain is coming in the real time. Lot of investment is happening in the blockchain, and you can also adopt the concept of blockchain with your research, as the concept of cryptocurrency. Like you don't have currency, but that is still working without a failure. So means you have the complete access to that currency. So that is cryptocurrency, that is the secured currency, that is the encrypted secured currency you have. So this is also one of the emerging topic in the blockchain. Cryptocurrency is no more, not much working, but blockchain concept is much working nowadays. It has drawn the huge attention, as well as huge investment is also going on with the blockchain oriented projects, in either it's in government project, either it's in private projects. Just overview I'll give what is exactly is blockchain is, blockchain, why we what we are talking about the blockchain, and just an overview. So blockchain, simply, we have a lot of data. Whenever you have the lot of data, and that data is shared. Let's say there is a file system. I have an office, I have a lot of files. So, and many people is having the access on particular data. So in that case, you require the blockchain. Why we need the blockchain? Blockchain we need is there are a lot of blocks, and those blocks are accessible, that are in the chain, that are accessible to many people in the chain. People, a lot of people are accessing that particular database. A lot of entries are growing day by day. Banking system, a lot of transactions are happening. NEFT, IMPS, a lot of things are RTGS. The transactions are happening. Adding of the transaction is going on. So there is a huge database, distributed database. Lot of people are involving in the database. Let's say one of the filing system. Maybe it is going to the SDM office. It is going to Tehsildar also. It is going to the Bhopal municipal office also. Maybe it is going to the approval authority also. Maybe it is going to the RERA also. So multiple authorities are there for particular file. So all having the access. So what requirement is? It should have the access in secured manner. Means we want to process also with the transparent manner. What will happen once the blockchain is applied? There will be transparency, because everything is happening online and in a transparent manner. Who modified the file, who tampered the data, that is easily trackable from the blockchain. So whenever you have the huge database transactions, you have the multiple authority for the particular database. So in that case, we want to process all the blocks within the chain with secure manner, with a transparent manner. We have the blockchain concept. That is one of the blockchain concept that is the highly secure and it's one of the latest technology which is keep away from the hacker. So nowadays like technology is implementing, and this is one of the emerging topic. It is immutable, like it cannot be changed. We cannot delete the data. We cannot give the breach to the data. So this is all happening with the blockchain. Simply what happened in the blockchain, if you will read the last sentence, the blockchain leverage technique from a field of mathematics and computer science known as cryptography. So here, to sign every transaction with a unique digital signature belongs to the user who initiated the transaction. Means there is a file, multiple authority are working on the particular file. Whoever changing the particular file, he is responsible because there is a unique signature, maybe some digital signature, maybe some Aadhaar number, maybe some fingerprint. So there is a special security, unique digital signature facility is there, so that that transaction, that particular file can be authenticated. So blockchain is all about the processing of the data, processing of the block within a chain with the secure platform with the particular secure unique identity, where each transaction, each signature, each file can be tracked and it can be verified. As well as like last line, these signatures are held privately but are verifiable publicly. Means the signature is done privately but publicly it can verify that who did this. Means the file is processed from the SDM office or not, that can be verified, but that is processed privately. So this is one of the proper manageable channel, proper channel where the transaction can happen with good security. So why I just told you this particular concept overview. So this is also one of the hot trending research area for your MTech or PhD research, the blockchain, that you can work on this particular topic. You can work on the different model which can support the blockchain. You can have the distributed system, you can have the multiple user identities, and you can work with the blockchain scenario. So this is one of the things which is possible, that is blockchain. Just I'll give you one small overview, because it's not required that everywhere you use the blockchain. Like you should know, like if you think that you are using the blockchain concept is email, blockchain concept in some communication, some chat, some WhatsApp, there is not required of blockchain concept in single communication or two people communication, because there is no distributed identity, there are no many identities. So our WhatsApp, our email, they don't need this kind of blockchain thing, because we don't need to sign digitally every mail, we don't need to sign digitally our every WhatsApp messages. So blockchain technology is not required where the communication of kind of is there. So blockchain, basically the concept required where the multiple identities are involved, data is public, but data need to be secure and transparent. So probably you can see that once the things or once the portals are implemented with the blockchain technology, so there will be more transparency, maybe there will be less corruption, less things will be happen. So blockchain is one of the future technology where all the applications, maybe some of the like Aadhaar applications and other applications will be implemented with the blockchain technology, and you should use it case to case. I have just prepared this use case. I'll share the PPT so that you can have the use case, that what is the case when you should use the blockchain and what is the case when you should not use the blockchain. So I just taken this particular slide from Niti Aayog website. So the use case when you should have the blockchain, when you should not have the blockchain. So I have just given the use case that I'll share the PPT with you. So this is how, because as it clearly said, what is the case when you should not. And the first case normally is there is a compelling business case to reduce intermediaries. There are a lot of intermediaries are there. So do you need to process with them? If there is no need of process, so don't use the blockchain. But what when there are multiple users, multiple stakeholders, multiple authorities are involved, so in that case you should use it. If there is no multiple authorities, you should not use it. So this is a complete use case. What is the case when you should use the blockchain and what is the case when you should not use the blockchain. So the future is here. The cyber security terminologies, cyber security analysis, as well as its tool which can recover it. Then again, from the cyber security itself, when it comes to the security terminology, with the portals. So that's how the evolution of the blockchain technology. And there is a requirement that every time the things are increasing, things are becoming more secure, and it will continue. So this is how the just this is one of the very simple use case diagram for the blockchain. What is the case blockchain should be used, what is the case it should not be used. So simply you can go through the ppt sometime, so that directly simply with yes or no signages only directly it's given that when you should use and when you should not use. If you sometime it's strongly recommended that you should use the private you should use the blockchain, and sometimes it's not recommended that you should use the blockchain. So this is one of the future and implemented technology which is in the world of cyber security. So one of the latest trend, if I say what is the latest trend in cyber security, so I can say this is one of the latest trend in cyber security, that we are moving to the blockchain. We have not moved, but we are moving, and future application will be implemented with this blockchain. There are some tips for the in order to stay away from the unauthorized attacks. You should always customize your account and settings. You should always you can have the customization of selection of the country, like which country should you communicate, because a lot of time it happen that some of the specific countries are doing the cyber attack, maybe because of some relation issue or some other issue. So there are specific countries which are from which the cyber attacks are happening. So you can customize this setting. You should always use the two-factor authentication. As I said that you should have the two password, means two-factor means two faces or two layer of password for any kind of authorized authenticated authentication. You should not click on the link directly it comes to your mail. Maybe you're seeing, you're going for the Facebook, you're going to the Instagram, and you're getting unwanted link, just you're clicking on it, maybe your data can be revealed. So you should not click the unwanted link. Sometimes we get the this is one so and so thing which is in 0 rupee, which is on 5 rupee. So sometimes we click on it, sometimes we click the unwanted advertisement. So we should not click the unwanted advertisements. Always you should try to use the ad blockers. There is ad blocker, because sometimes it happens that in my Chrome there is a lot of advertisements are coming. So you can use the ad blocker extensions, you can use the ad blocker softwares and tools, so that all those ads which consume your bandwidth, which consume your data, which unwantedly reveal your data, that will not come. So you should use the ad blockers. You should identify the ads, maybe you can report those ads. So ad blocker should be used from your mobile also, from your computer also, so that unwanted ads on your screen, unwanted ads on your mobile, it will not come. Do not accept any unauthorized access, untrusted applications. Directly don't give the mobile number, OTP. Directly don't use this kind of things with unwanted application, because that is again they can reveal your data. You should use the alert setting with your passwords. Try to use the encryption whenever it is possible, because as much as the encryption or security can be given, that is one of the good thing for any kind of communication. So basically, we are in the cyber world, and it's always recommended to be secure. As how in the physical world we want to secure, ourselves, we want to secure our family. So same way as now we are in the cyber world, it's our duty to save and secure us from the cyber world, as well as you should also tell to your family also that, because all are using the smartphones. So obviously as they are less aware of that smartphones, maybe less aware of cyber world, so you should always keep spread of this kind of cyber security terminology. As yesterday also sir told that they are doing a lot of work with this cyber cases, forensic cases, lot of things. So of course it is happening because it is a need of today's time. So for the day, that's all from my end. Any questions if you have, you can ask. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful session. I think all the participants gained the knowledge on the cyber security and the hands-on session that was delivered by you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so
If you
much.
have any kind of query, always you can share me with my mail, and I'll definitely revert it.
If anyone want to ask the question, you can unmute your mic and ask. If any participants have any query, you can unmute your mic and ask. I think, sir, your session was self-explanatory, and really it's very knowledgeable and informative. Thank you, Vikram, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you all.
The session at 11 a.m. sharp.
So hope you enjoy today, and we'll meet tomorrow sharp at 10:50. That is our scheduled time. Okay. We are going to share the feedback in WhatsApp today. Thank you.